Welcome, everybody, to the Modern Day Overthinker podcast. I am your host, Colin. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. If you are a returning listener, I appreciate you coming back. This episode is with an old virtual friend of mine, Kate Anderson. Kate and I go way back to when I was running a blog called Now That's College, and she's been a follower ever since. She stuck around for the switch from Now That's College to Modern Day Overthinker, and didn't abandon me, and I appreciate that. Which is fine if you did abandon me, because I changed brands and flipped the script on everybody. Anyway, Kate and I had an opportunity to discuss a variety of things in her personal life, which include such things as anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, quitting drinking, fear of medication, treating your mind and body like a car that needs maintenance regularly so you don't break down. I like that analogy a lot. Okay, you've all heard enough of me. Now into the episode with Kate Anderson. Welcome, everybody, to the Modern Day Overthinker podcast. Welcome back. If it's your first time listening, I appreciate you tuning in. Today's guest, this morning's guest, whenever you're listening, is Kate Anderson. Welcome, Kate. You are here with me virtually. I haven't done a virtual podcast in a while, so welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
So, Kate, I want to start off by introducing you and how we kind of know each other virtually. And it's been a long time that you've been interacting with my former account and Modern Day Overthinker. So tell me a little bit about, I want to hear from your perspective, what you noticed, and because I changed some things on people when it came to Now That's College, and then it came to Modern Day Overthinker. So, and then also just a little bit of background about you and what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah. So I've known you or your content since, I don't know. Yeah. Since Now It's College, which I think was 2012 or 2013, somewhere. You would know better exactly around.
It depends on when you started following the account. The account started in 2010.
Okay, so I was pretty soon after that then, probably a year or two later. I started college in 2011. So Probably, I don't remember if I started right when I started college or pretty the year after. So probably, 2011, 2012 then.
Depends on how engaged you were on Twitter, because that's where we were first. And then
I was a big Twitter person back then. Yeah. That was my main social media. Yeah. I just have more time.
Yeah.
I feel that's one that you just need time to just dig through tweets.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I started following the account. I was posting a lot. So I think that you guys started reposting stuff that I was posting on there, or I don't remember. I posted something outside my college one time, a sign or something, and you guys reposted that. And then I think we were just in touch, would DM occasionally, things like that, just about haha, that's funny, or I don't remember.
Yeah, anything ridiculous or funny or out there, we would share it for the most part. Yeah. That was
yeah. And then I kind of moved myself. I became I was more on Instagram. I moved to Europe after college. And so I was on different times than everyone. I was Twitter, Twitter is it's in the moment, And so I was on a different time, and I was this isn't working. So Instagram, and then you guys were on Instagram also. Yeah. So then I started following you guys on Instagram. And then Yeah, I don't remember when exactly, but one day it was just modern day overthinker instead, which I was like, that's cool because like most people, I went from like
A
college,
lot
this
of
is
people
awesome.
were getting older. That my following was getting older, and my
Yeah,
followers were getting older
yeah,
too. So it's like it kind of made sense both ways. But
yeah.
some people didn't. The new people didn't stick around, which is fine. Because they were like,
Fair enough.
I didn't follow this account, and I'm in
Yeah, they're like,
college
we're not
now.
depressed yet. We're still
Yeah,
having fun.
we're still having fun. We're
Yeah.
not depressed. We're not in the real world yet. So
Yeah, we're not stressed. We're still having fun. Yeah, so fair enough. But for me, I was like, oh, this makes sense because I followed because it was still cool. Like the stuff was still funny. But it definitely wasn't like, I wasn't in college anymore. And so when I saw that it transitioned over, plus like I felt like I had like known you, like we'd talked, and I was like, oh, like I know this guy, like I'm cool. I'm down to see like what the new journey is. Like,
and
let's
it was down to
go.
just me because it was not
Yeah,
always
there
just
was
me.
another. Yeah, there was another guy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
me and my friend Matt did it we started it, and yeah, Matt grew up faster than I did, and he's now married and has a kid, another kid on the way. I think they just had another kid.
Wow. Well, good for him.
Everybody's
Good for
having
him.
kids. Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a little while, but yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah. I was probably like DMing him sometimes too,
Yeah,
like I was
didn't
just
know who you were talking to. Yeah.
It was like you, and that's why I'm using like you guys, because it was like you guys for a while, and then it was like it wasn't, and it's not like you were like, hey, just me now or anything. So in my mind, it was always kind of like it's
a group
college
effort.
Like as like a brand. I mean, not a brand, but like as a brand, what I mean, like as a thing concept, and then transition just into like a different concept.
Yeah, Now That's College was very interesting. I learned a lot from that about how things work online and how to interact with people online and how to engage with people and network. And I still have a lot of contacts from Now That's College, not as many as I used to, but the guy who founded I'm Schmacked, I reached out to him the other day. He big timed me, which I actually didn't know him as well. There were two founders of I'm Schmacked. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
That one was huge. I'm Schmacked was huge. They had money backing them and stuff. We didn't have that.
Yeah.
I think a couple of guys just messing around. Yeah. And they had a lot of money and they treated it more like a business than we did.
Yeah.
And which was fine. And they did a really good job. They were really successful. I think it was Aria is the one that I reached out to because he kept showing up on my Twitter feed, or not Twitter feed, on my TikTok feed, because I've recently got hooked to TikTok over the last year.
Yeah, see, now TikTok's the new one,
Yeah, it's bad. I like it though. I thought I would hate it, but yeah, I'm hooked to it now. TikTok and Instagram are mainly the ones that I'm on right now. And yeah, I've been liking I stay on Instagram mainly because of the reels, because they've been pushing the reels like hardcore. The reels that I've been posting have been at least getting 1,000 views. Like if they pop off, they get more than that. And if they get over a certain amount, that Instagram actually pays me a little bit, which is I'll take free money. So I'll probably get tax season will be fun, but we'll see what happens. It's not that much money though, so I don't know. So that's like an extra way for me to engage and get more. Basically, I'm just trying to get more listeners on the podcast because especially now over the last year, I've been just putting out episodes way more than I have at the beginning. At the beginning of the podcast was kind of more of an idea and kind of like see how it goes type of thing. And now it's like people are starting to get more engaged and like asking me about it. And I'm just like, okay, now I have to really focus on putting out more episodes. And
got to give the people what they want.
Yeah. And some people want video involved and all that stuff. I'm like, I got to start with just making sure the audio is good and making sure the content is there for like mainly Spotify and Apple is where most people listen. There's a few other apps that I make sure I'm on as well. But yeah, we wanted to talk about, I could talk about depression all day. we both have major depressive disorder. I was diagnosed with that at a very young age. They actually thought I was bipolar. I've talked about that before too. I don't know if you've ever been misdiagnosed, but that's not fun.
No, I haven't. I haven't. Yeah, no, I started going to therapy when I was not super duper young. I was in high school still, but they were like, "You're good. You don't have anything." Like I was like, "No, I think I have anxiety. Like I'm really perfectionistic. It's messing up my life." And they're like, "You seem pretty perfect to us." I was like, "That's
the point.
That's like the least helpful thing you could have said." I'm like, "I know, like I'm, killing myself, suffering to like achieve this level that I'm holding myself to, like being told, well, you seem pretty perfect is just like pushing me further into that. And like, it wasn't healthy." So not misdiagnosis, but definitely been like led down the wrong path by a therapist.
Oh yeah, that can happen. Yeah. Especially at that age. And it's like, it's tough to gauge really if, this is like, can be like you all the time for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Or it's just like hormones and
you like lack your own self-awareness, right? Like I didn't really know myself either, versus now I'm like, oh no, like I know that this is not like how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the self-awareness is kind of annoying sometimes though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like you can feel it. You're like, oh man. It's like when people can feel like a headache coming on. I'm like, I can feel that with like more depressive moments or like high anxiety. I can like feel it coming. I'm like, oh man, I wish I could enjoy this moment, but nope, I'm too self-aware. I know it's coming.
Yeah, like here comes the cloud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have the way I process things and things don't hit me when they actually occur. Like for example, like I've been doing comedy the last year and that's been really fun. It's also been getting me out of my comfort zone, which I'm trying to do more of that. Like that really helps with anxiety from what I've noticed anyway. And a little bit of with depression as well. But stand up I've been doing for a little over a year, but I did my first show where I hosted it and I put it together and I put together the comedians and I picked the venue and all that stuff. I did all of that and I've never done any of this. I've never done any event like this ever. And it ended up being a huge success.
Yay.
And I was completely floored and I was in shock for like a good couple of hours. At least it didn't start really hitting me until like I got home and I was away from everybody. And then I sat down and I was like, I can't believe that just happened. And I'm like, that really happened. I really did all that. And it was like, and at the same time, like, I got to do more. The next show's got to be bigger. I got to make sure.
I live in that, which is like my big problem and like feeds into mine a lot. It's like I'm always in that.
But this didn't go right. And this didn't go right. And they could have had this set up better because we actually got to a point where we had so many people in this room where we had to turn people away.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a good problem to have. But I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, but like still, you're like, could have been more perfect though. Yeah,
it could have been better. And like one of the comedians pissed a couple people off, and it's like you can't do a comedy show, but he also like really pushes the line. But it's just the way it is. Like, comedy's like the one thing we have left where we can actually do that. So I don't know. Some people still try to police comedy, and I'm just like, just let us have this, please.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, I get it. It's like it's a messy situation, right? Like you never want to like really, really offend somebody, but it's like you have to be able to laugh at yourself, Like, and I think some people can't like laugh at themselves. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's healthy too to be able to like laugh at yourself.
Even if it's not yourself, it's just like uncomfortable situation. Cause he's like, my friend Austin's like I don't know if you've ever heard of Anthony Jeselnik.
I don't think so.
He's a very dark comic. Like he says really ridiculously off the wall, offensive things to try to get you uncomfortable and like laugh. Just and like situations where like, is it even appropriate for me to be laughing at this? But it's still funny. Like that's his thing. and he refuses to change his style, which is fine, and I respect that. But that, like, this is the type of comic I want to be, and this is who I want to be, and he's very good at it. But
fair enough. See, I work with autistic kids, and that's also like a lot of my clients. That's their sense of humor too. Is like they go straight to like dark, and they will say things with like a straight face, like no problem. And so sometimes I'm like, you're joking, right? And they are like, they're totally joking.
Yeah, we
but
have
like
a couple
they're
comedians that are on the spectrum, and they luckily I know them well enough to know that they're joking, but like, yeah, they'll say some.
The delivery is just on point though, because I'm like, because sometimes that thing where you're like, you catch yourself and you're like, oh my God, are they like, that's funny sometimes, because it's the same way that people who like, they love being scared, like, because it gets you like that feeling where you're like, it's kind of the same thing. I think with that type of comedy is it gets you that feeling where you're like, and that's what like then gets you to laugh, is when you're like, okay, wow, that really, caught me.
Yeah, and then somebody else laughs, and like, okay, it's okay to laugh now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it is a comedy show. It's safer in a comedy show to laugh because
you're safe here, and everyone on stage is just joking. That's literally what they're doing. That's
that's what they came here for. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so like, perfectionism. I know a lot about that. Yeah. I've ran into that with my I do music stuff too, and I've run into that. That's why I don't mix or master my stuff anymore. I have somebody else do it, because I will just sit there and like nitpick little things, and I'm just like, I don't even touch it anymore. I might give feedback, but otherwise I'm just like, I just want to record and deliver what I want to deliver, and then somebody else can tweak it, because otherwise I'll sit there, and then I've gone so far as to tweaking something so much where it just like sounds terrible. So
yeah. I mean, that's why I like, even like on talking about like Instagram, like I can't like, I'll put like a filter, or like I have just like presets, because I just can't be the type of person that goes in there and like Photoshops it up and stuff, because I will find so many things wrong, that it'll start to look fake. And like, and I think, there are more reasons why I don't like editing. That type of stuff. But like, for me, it's just like, I have to just be like, all right, I'm just going to like throw a brightening filter on there, just because the picture is kind of dark. And like, I have like, I don't, it looks a little better
for realistic reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, I just have to like, let it like throw it up on there and like walk away from it, because even stuff like that, I'll just get like caught in it. Will like, oh, well, like, is it too dark? Is it too, and I'm just like, man, I've just, or like likes and things like that. Like there have been times in my life where like I care about like likes, and I've had just, when I was younger, and now I'm like, my Instagram is for me. Like the pictures on there, it's because it's like, it's what I like. And it's like my own photo journal. Like I'll go back and like, or like when I'm kind of feeling crappy, right? Like I'll go back and like look and be like, wow, but look how fun when I, did this, or like, here I am next to my friends. Like that was a great day, or like, and that's what I'm posting for, like not for the likes. And so sometimes like, because the likes, if you post on there, the likes come in anyways, I have to you have to consciously not care about that, because that is affecting people's mental health bad. And like, kind of have to like not,
like clout
you have to make a conscious decision to like not worry about it, because it's like little things, like the time of the day you post, you might not get as many likes, and your brain, you can't let your brain go like, oh, is it that like everyone hates me and thinks like I'm so stupid and ugly? And like, no, it's that you posted it like at a time of the day people weren't online, and like, it's like changing that thinking. And that's a lot of what I do in my therapy sessions too. It's like changing that thinking, because it's so easy to be like, oh, everyone hates me and thinks like this is stupid, when it's not that 99% of the time.
No, most people don't care at all.
No one.
They're too busy in their own head. So
no one's like searching me up to be like, what stupid thing did Kate post today? Like no one's doing that. Maybe like two people, but they're
maybe some exes or something.
Yeah, which good for them.
Yeah.
I'll keep putting out the content for them.
If you're still listening, I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a review wherever you are listening. It really helps, so I can get some more listeners and get you some more guests. All right, back into it. So yeah, you recently started taking medication, correct?
Yeah, I
You were
did.
on the fence about it, as most people
I
are. So what was your
yes.
main there's obviously multiple reasons probably why you didn't want to get on medication, but what was
Yeah.
like one of the a couple of the main reasons like you were a little bit hesitant?
Yeah. So my depression and my anxiety, I'm diagnosed with both. And so sometimes they go hand in hand and sometimes they go head to head. It's like people are like, oh, depression makes you sleep all the time, but like anxiety keeps you up. And like that's definitely true for me. Like I'm tired all the time, but then I can't actually sleep. And I think a lot of people experience that as well, where like if you kind of experience both, how they kind of sometimes they work together against you, and sometimes they're working against each other and you. Um, I think for me, a lot of it was like anxiety based. I suffer a lot with suicidal thoughts. That's like my main um, difficulty. The rest of the stuff is
So
a
like
lot easier
intrusive
for me
suicidal
to deal with.
thoughts, like not necessarily like that you really want to do it, but just like
To be honest with you, both. To be honest with you,
a little bit of
both.
both. Okay.
I've gotten in some pretty like low places, like some ideation. I've been to ideation.
Mhm.
I'm not currently at ideation, which is great. When I went on the medication back in May, I was unfortunately at ideation, and at that point, kind of my anxieties, which were based, that was the original question. Sorry. About basically like, just like my health is already like not great. And so I was like, do I want to get on more medications? There's already medications that I have to take pretty regularly. And so I was concerned about, is this another medication I'm going to get on that I'm going to have to take the rest of my life? I have like a thyroid medication. I have to, once you start it, like you just have to take it the rest of your life. And like, I already have one of those. I have other ones that are like pretty regular for me. And so it was kind of part of that. I even though they tell me it's not related, I have a lot of like migraines and stuff. And I was just worried about like, changing the chemistry in my brain, how it might affect my migraines, because my migraines are debilitating for me. So like that was a concern for me. A lot of it was like health concerns, just
Side
not
effects.
wanting to. Yeah, side effects. The side effects were not even like my biggest concern. It was more just about like, do I really want to like get into another medication? Side effects were part of it though. And I did experience some of those, but definitely I didn't know as much about the side effects until I kind of like started. But yeah. So yeah, to answer your original question before I got off track, those are kind of like the reasons I was like hesitant about taking it.
That makes sense. And then the reason you started taking it was probably because you were in a very dark place.
I was in a very, very, very dark place. I went in for like a checkup at my doctor and they were like, ever experience any like depression? And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah, I like,
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like barely making it through every day. And they were like, oh, like tell us more about that. And they were like, we literally can't let you go home. Like we're going to have to keep you for like a 72-hour hold. And I was like, no. Like I got to go to work. I can't. And my job is unfortunately probably like the most important thing to me. Like I put things above, like I put my job above things I probably shouldn't. And so in that moment I was like, no, like I have my responsibilities. Like I need to go home tonight. Like I need to like no. And so, they kind of said, okay, like we will let you leave, but you have to leave with this medication. And so we kind of like negotiated. I was like in a negotiation situation.
Did they give you an Ativan or something like that on your way out or something?
No, actually, no, they didn't. They
did that to me when I went to the hospital. I think it was Ativan. They gave me something that made me feel really awesome for a while. Or less shitty, I should say, because I didn't feel great. Because I was in the ER having suicidal thoughts. So
they didn't give me. I think maybe because like I didn't go in there for that. But they were like, whoa, like whoa.
Curveball, yeah.
Yeah. They were like, "You're not good." And I was like, "No, I've never
I'm not.
pretended to be good." Yeah, no, I'm not good. No, no, I'm barely making it through each day. And so,
Were you already going to therapy before this?
so I was, yeah, I'd been
Okay.
going to therapy I've gone on and off for
Mhm.
a decade, more than a decade.
Yeah.
But I was seeing a therapist and then my insurance changed. And so technically I hadn't been seeing my therapist just for like that month. But I was like, yeah, no, so that's what it was. It wasn't a checkup. It was like my first appointment, like after having switched insurances, just to like make sure I could get all my medications, that stuff like going. And they just like, asked that question because they always ask those questions. And I was like, oh yeah, like, no, I'm not good. And they were like, oh my God, okay. And they made me see the psychiatrist like right then and there. So it's pretty nuts. And basically the thing that made me decide to just take it was I was like, all those other reasons, like if I just kill myself, I'm not going to make it to work anyway, obviously. Like I'm not going to, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be on like whatever medications my body is on, whatever health things are going on. Like if I'm dead, it doesn't matter. And it was kind of just like a last resort where I was like, might as well, like,
yeah.
I might as well just try it. Yeah. And so, so that was like end of May-ish. And I kept it. I've heard this is pretty common. I like kept it for like a week before I even took it. And then I took one and then I didn't take it for like a week. And then now I take it regularly. Yeah. Cause I like freaked out. I just want to make sure I didn't like, drop dead or anything, but obviously I wouldn't. That's not a side effect or anything, but anxiety will do that to you. So,
I had a doctor tell me he was a goofy doctor. He was funny though. He was a good doctor, but he just would always crack jokes. And when I first got put on Prozac, he told me, and I was like 15, 14, something like that. And he was like, the only way that you could kill yourself by taking these drugs is if you stuck too many up your nose and held your breath for too long. And I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But all right, I get the point. I can't overdose on this drug.
I love that type of doctor. I do love that type of doctor because I'm like, it's kind of like the same thing you said, the comedy. Like when I'm already in that dark place, like I need that dark comedy to like, it's the only thing if I can't laugh in that moment, I'm going to cry. So, I think it's good to have, I like that type of doctor who's like, we're just going to joke about it because we're already here. Like shit's already fucked up. We might as well just get through it the best we can.
I throw my therapist off sometimes because I have her cracking up about stupid stuff. And she's like,
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always like making her laugh and like, which kind of like, I know leads to one of our talking points. Yeah. Where she's always like, you don't seem like depressed all the time until you start telling me.
And throwing up. Yeah.
I'm masking really well and deflecting and like I have good coping mechanisms for dealing with this for so long. So defense mechanisms and things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Using humor is a good thing, but if you're using it to mask a bunch of other stuff and not talking about those things, it's not good. And I think I've started like the mental health discussion within my group of comedy friends because they know I do a podcast, and I've had multiple comedians on the podcast because they make for great guests. And I haven't met a comedian yet. There's only been one comedian that I've met so far that was like, I've never been to therapy, never thought. No. He's just like, fine. I'm just like, what? And that's the super dark comic.
Okay.
And he just likes writing those jokes. He's just a good writer, and like he knows like what buttons to push and what things.
Yeah, he's like, therapy would take my edge off, man. It would ruin my jokes.
It would ruin his jokes. Yeah, he's just like,
fuck. See, that's dark. That's dark.
Yeah, I don't know. But for the most part, all the comedians that I've met, one of my friends, Dana, who I'm going to have on the podcast soon, he has a joke where he talks about how he does comedy because he can't afford therapy.
Yeah.
And I think that's hilarious because, I pay out of pocket for my therapy. And I know there's people that struggle with being able to afford therapy or get into therapy. That's why I push the virtual therapy to people, because you can get in way quicker. Like,
Yeah.
I started doing online therapy like right when the pandemic started. Obviously, I kind of had to, and then I just haven't really stopped since. Like,
yeah. Well, it's so convenient. Like, it's so convenient. I know I mentioned this earlier before we were recording, but like, I see my therapist in my car at lunch because my therapist has the same hours as I do. I do either 8 to 5 or 9 to 6.
And one frustrating thing about
my job doesn't let me take time off for that, which is a whole nother, kind of conversation. But I get so that kind of sucks. But so the time that I have is I have an hour lunch break. And so I just bring my lunch and I sit in my car and I do my therapy in my car at lunch. And I otherwise wouldn't be able to do therapy, most likely, and so it's so convenient now, the options that we have, that I'm able to just like hop in my car and see my therapist on my lunch break. Otherwise, because I think a lot of people, their hesitation is like, oh, I don't have the money, which fair, or I don't have the time, which also fair. And so I think, the virtual therapy has like opened up a lot of options for people to make it more accessible. And especially for me, time-wise, it's just been like huge just to be able to do it during those like little breaks that I have.
Well, yeah, because it's important to you. So, and you're making time. That's also a good thing to bring up, because some people will use time as an excuse, but I mean, you can make time for stuff if you really want it to happen.
You have to. Like, if you broke your leg, you would leave work and go. And I think people don't look at like mental health crises the same way.
Not yet. It's getting there, but
it's getting there. We're definitely headed in that direction, which is a good thing. But even so, I think it's more about maintenance too. Like, don't wait until it's a crisis, right?
Exactly.
Like, you have to kind of,
because people think, oh, I don't have to go to therapy, everything's fine. I'm like, you should start going now.
Do maintenance. Like, you gotta do maintenance. Like, think about your car. You don't wait until that thing's like dragging on the ground.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, I'm due for an oil change. I better go do it before like my engine blows up, and like, I don't know anything about cars, and I know I better go do that when that little light comes on, because if not, like, my car's not going to run anymore. And same with my body. If my body is giving me signs that like I am not good, I need to go.
Yep.
Exactly. Because if not, then it's my bumper dragging on the ground, and physically or mentally, it's the same thing. But I think people don't look at it the same, because we cut corners. And I think with depression, anxiety too, like, I know for myself, it's like I cut corners all the time. Like all the time with stuff. And I know you had mentioned before to me too, that like, people who, when they're really depressed, like the thing that goes is like their like hygiene. They're not able to like take showers, brush their teeth, or like clean. And for me, it's the same way. Like, I cut corners, and a lot of those corners I cut are like with my health, with taking care of myself, and like kind of masking, like, to the outside world, I'm doing all the stuff I need to do to seem good. But then in my house, it's like a mess. Like, when I am in a bad mental place, like, my house is a mess. I'm not eating well. I'm not sleeping well.
Yep.
I'm, all of those things.
I'm not doing
laundry, the things I enjoy.
The
things that I enjoy. Like, I shut down. My friends are like, are you good? And I'm like, no. And they're like, we haven't heard from you in like a month. Like, my phone is just off, it's that type of thing that gets like cut. And I think it's so easy.
Mode.
Yes. And that's like a big thing for me. And so I think it's important to kind of.
Do you live alone, or do you live with your boyfriend?
I live with my boyfriend. I live with my boyfriend. I have lived alone though. And, as a depressed person. Yeah. And so there have been times where people are like, where are you? And because I just get into the isolation mode, and I'm still going to work every day, and no one at work knows anything's wrong.
No.
But once I get home, I just like am laying on my couch in the fetal position, like eating one M&M at a time for dinner, until I wake up the next morning and do it again. Like, so I think we cut a lot of corners as like depressed people as well. And it's like important to like do this, like go to the therapy, because that's going to keep you from getting to that place in the first place.
And also, the one thing I've one thing that I cut corners on, and I have always cut corners on for a long time, is my physical health.
Yeah.
And whether it's eating right, I'm still not great at. I've gotten better, but I at least implemented working out, going to the gym, and making that a regular routine thing. And over the last year, I really implemented that. And I've noticed quite the change with my obviously physical and mental health. It goes hand in hand, and
totally,
it's another good, healthy outlet for me to go to the gym and, you know, get that time in. And people have asked me, like my friends that are wanting to go to the gym, they're like, "Oh, do you want to be a gym buddy?" I'm like, no gym buddies. I go by myself. It's like another therapy session.
Yeah.
And that's like it's like my sanctuary, like my church. Like that's what I do. And that's how I have to treat it too. And it's,
you have to treat it like as like an appointment. Like you have to treat it, you know, that way, like as if it is therapy, and like, I'm going to get a cancellation fee if I don't go, because if not, it's so easy to cut it out.
I've told people, and it's funny because I'm single and I haven't been dating a whole lot on and off, but I told somebody that I had a date the other day, and it was me going to the gym, and they're like, "Oh, I have a date," and I like wanted to hear about it. Like, no, I have a date with the gym. I'm like,
like, yeah. Well, I mean, it's even more important, you know. I feel, you know, that stuff.
The dating world is that's a whole nother thing. Don't even get me started on that.
Oh, I've been there.
You don't have to worry about it right now. You were very lucky. It's rough out here.
Oh, but like also, you know, I think being in a relationship when you're depressed and anxious is like a whole nother thing, because that's one thing that I liked. So I'm a person who likes being single. Actually, I prefer being single.
I'm more used to being single, and I kind of like it. And then I want to get in a relationship. And then as soon as I start like getting into a relationship, I get scared and I get really like uncomfortable. And I'm like, did I make the right decision here?
Well, for me, it's because like I can't isolate. Like I can't. I live with my boyfriend. I can't be like, you know, and I can ask him like, I need my space. Like I need some alone time. But like I can't like come home and lay on my fetal position and eat M&Ms, because he's be like, Kate, like this is not good for you. Like like you know. And in some ways it's good because he's like. Yeah, he's like, I'll make you some food. And, you know, that's really helpful. Like, I'm so grateful for that. Yeah. It is nice to have a partner in that way. But other ways, like you know, it's accountability, which is good. But sometimes when you're like in that survival mode, like you're like, I don't want anyone close to me. Like, I'm just trying to get through the day, and I can't worry about anyone else right now. And when you're in a relationship, sometimes like you have to. You have to be really selfish sometimes. And exactly. And like you can't be all the time when you're in a relationship, because there's like, you know, I live with someone else. I can't, you know, I have to deal with my stuff, because it's not fair for like my life to be always a mess when like someone else is so involved with my life. So sometimes that's good, and sometimes it makes it tougher. And sometimes I do miss like being single when I'm like living on my own, when I could just be like, all right, like back into my cave where I'm safe, you know. I don't have that luxury anymore. And in some ways it's good. Yeah, in some ways it's good, some ways it's bad. Yeah, I mean it depends on your perspective and the way you look at it, of course. Yeah. I've gotten really my thing is I've gotten really comfortable being single. Yeah. Because I've spent most of my time single. I bet I've only been in a couple serious relationships. The last one was the longest relationship I've ever had, and that was 2 years, and it felt like a decade. Just because of me not being in a serious relationship for that long ever before that. And we spent like basically every day, all day together almost, especially during the pandemic. Like we're both working from home, working remote. And spent a lot of time together. And got to the point where I got burnt out, but I learned a lot from that. And I was like, man, and once I was single, I was a little, at first I was like, yes, I'm free, do whatever I want. I don't have to answer to anyone. Not that she was like super controlling or anything. She wasn't like that, but
You know what I mean? Like I was just like,
no, yeah, it's like I said, you were accountable to someone.
Yeah, I didn't have to be accountable to anyone, which was great.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed that for a while. And then when she got into a relationship, then it messed me up. And I was like, oh, wait, I really am alone. And what's wrong with me? And, and all this second guessing and stuff like that. And I was like, wait, you broke up with her, idiot. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, and then I was like, oh, yeah. And then it took a little while. And then I kind of was like, oh, okay. And then I got on some of the dating apps and stuff like that. And I was like, this is terrible. And I met one girl from a dating app and she was cool, but then she was like, nah. And then I've like been on a couple dates and just nothing's been that exciting to me. And it's just like, nothing as exciting as my freedom and me being able to do whatever I want. Like I can randomly go to, like, since I do comedy now, I can randomly be like, hey, I'm going to go do this open mic. I don't have to like schedule it out or anything. I can just go.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
if I need to go to a recovery meeting, I can go to recovery meetings. I go to those. So, and just doing things like that. And, now I've gotten to the point where like if I do get in a relationship with somebody, they're gonna have to realize how busy I am because I'm very busy right now.
Yeah, but I think that's like how it should be. I think like a lot of people kind of get used to like, you know, depending on someone else, like kind of like making your life revolve around like your partner, and like for me that was I think one of the initial things that kind of like exacerbated my depression in the first place was that I got into a relationship, not with the guy I'm with now. I had an ex-boyfriend when I lived in Spain who we lived together, and he didn't have family there. I didn't have family there. We had some friends there, but like no one we were as close to as each other. And so we kind of just became each other's like world, you know, because we were there in a country that was foreign to both of us, and it just became like really unhealthy. It was really bad for my mental health that like, you know, my life kind of became around one person. It was my job and him, and like that was my life. And so it was like if he didn't want to go do trivia on Wednesday night, like I didn't go. And like after that relationship, now I'm the type of person like I do go. And like if my boyfriend now doesn't want to go, I'm like, all right, well, like, you know, send good wishes for me. Yeah, like I hope I win. Like I'm gonna win a bar tab and you're gonna be sad, and I'm gonna have mozzarella sticks and you're not. You know, so you know, and I don't even drink, but like I like I like going out and doing stuff. And so
I'm getting to the point where I'm better about that because I was very scared of that. Well, not scared. Other people made me scared, which we're like, oh, you're not drinking now. You can't be hanging around bars, or you can't be doing this.
Yeah.
It's
a change.
It depends on why you're there. If you realize why you're at that location, if you're there to socialize and not there to drink, it's a totally different perspective. Like the other day, I was at a bar because they had an open mic. That's the reason I was there. I stayed at that bar because they also had a pool table and I wanted to play pool. Yeah. And like those type of things, or like trivia.
Exactly. I love a trivia night. And like I will order
bingo at a bar. And I was like, oh shit, I would do that.
I love trivia and apps. Like I will pretty much go like if there's like some sort of event. The reason I don't drink is more for like health reasons.
Physical health first?
Yes. I have like stomach ulcers. It's like a whole thing. So like my stomach like literally bleeds if I drink. So that makes it pretty easy to like decide not to do that.
Yeah.
And so that was also going on kind of when that ex and I moved in together too. So I think that like that's really when I became like very depressed, was like in that situation. And I think because it was just like a lot at once. I was like in a different country where like I didn't know a lot of people. I was just getting like caught up into where like my life revolved around like my job and one person, and that's it. And it was a lifestyle change, like you said, like to a lot of the events like in our social circles, like in this age, and not even this age, to be honest, because I know older people who are the same.
drink
like
alcohol
revolves
is a
around
part of
drinking. Let's go
everything.
get a drink. Like, oh, come to this. We're going to have a drink. Like, do you want to come drink? Like, it's literally like revolves around drinking, you know? And so it was like a big lifestyle change too, because it was like, well, what the heck am I going to do now to go have fun when like I'm like, what do you want to do tonight? And all my friends say, let's drink this, drink that. And I'm like, like, can we just go bowling? You know, like, it was a big lifestyle change for me. And so, you know, I think that led to a lot of my like initial kind of deep dive into my depression as well.
This is something I noticed and other people have noticed. I didn't know if it affected you, but once you stopped drinking, did you notice that certain friends really didn't contact you anymore?
Well, so the problem is that for me, it happened at the same time that I moved. And so I was far away. I was on a completely different time zone. So it's hard for me to know how much of that was moving out of the country, how much of that was me not drinking anymore. But definitely there are people who like I don't hang out with as much anymore.
Because drinking is such a part of their life.
Where I'm like, guys, like if the event, like I'm down to go to the beach and have the beach be the main event. If you guys like get drunk, like do you, I don't care. But like if the main event is drinking, it's just not fun for me anymore. Just like where I'm at in my like life.
Yeah, I get bored and annoyed. I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, like I like to be out and doing stuff, but like if the main event is something I can't do, and that would apply to anything. Like it's the same reason like going like to watch someone else play golf isn't fun for me. Like because I don't like golf, like I don't want to golf, and so I wouldn't like go to something where the main event was golf, but like I'll go to Top Golf where everyone's like hanging out, chilling, and like you hit a couple golf balls. You know what I mean? Like it just depends on like why everyone is there, like you said before.
I think we're supposed to be getting a Top Golf here. That'd be nice. I've never played Top Golf before, but I know about it, and there's one in Chicago, which I'm not too far from Chicago.
It's like a big,
yeah, it's a huge thing. Yeah, it's really
all
cool.
the trendy. Like it's a cool concept. It's like a social thing where like you hit a couple golf balls. Like I can get behind that, but like the same reason I wouldn't like go to a golf course to golf is the same reason I wouldn't like go to my friend's drinking party if it was just like the main thing to do there was drinking. Like I'm down to go if there's going to be like people there to like that I like talking to, or like games, or like, you know, I'm so down for a game night. But yeah, I just can't do like pure drinking nights anymore. Like I just don't have it in me anymore.
And also we're just getting older. It's like not a part.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of it's past my bedtime, guys.
Some of it's just like I don't want to stay out that late anymore. Like,
yeah, like I'm like, don't invite me to something that starts at 10 anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna come.
yeah, I can.
Especially if the main event is drinking. Like, I can't. I'm done. Yeah, like if it's something like really exciting, like it's a concert or something, like I'm down.
Oh yeah,
you know. But if you're like, yeah, we're just gonna hang out, I'm like, no. I can't.
Yeah, stuff like that was.
I can't hang out at 10 p.m.
Stuff like that was like there was a few things that were difficult for me to adjust to. Being at bars, but then realizing why I was at bars, then that changed the game completely. And weddings was one that was tough for me. Because a big part of weddings revolved around drinking, you know, at the reception. And
it's basically just a party.
And just a party.
And
first wedding I went to after I quit drinking was like, I think I only stopped for like, I was only like 4 months in or something like that. So I went to a wedding, but not only was it a wedding, it was a wedding where my buddy from college was getting married, and it was a buddy that I got so drunk with all the time in college. And so I thought the wedding was going to be like this big party, and it really wasn't actually. It was very formal, nice wedding, and nobody really got like really drunk or
hammered.
Anything. And it was not what I expected at all. Like I had these crazy like expectations, unrealistic expectations of what was going to happen and scenarios in my head. And it was just fine.
think it's like proof that like everyone is kind of like moving in that direction. Because I had a lot of anxiety too, that I was like, oh, am I going to be out of place if I go anyway and I'm not drinking? And then I think it's like nice to be in that situation and be like, oh, no, I think everyone's tired.
You feel like you have to explain it all the time, and
yeah,
some people do push it and they're annoying about it, and she's like, I don't drink. Like, you could throw out the health reason though, which you probably have.
Yeah, I like don't usually though, because I like to because then I don't want to put other people who like that's not their reason to feel like they need a reason.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so for me, it's like I don't want to make it a thing where it's like, oh, well, I have a good reason. You know, it's like if I don't want to drink because I don't feel like it, like that's a good enough reason. Like, leave me alone.
Reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just like to like just not even go there usually, you know.
Yeah, and I think where I live too, like in the Midwest and especially in Iowa, like there's not a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things to do. So drinking is very, very like there's more bars than anything in my town.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is. So everything is very influenced by alcohol. So
that's the nice thing about San Diego.
You kind of have to explain like to people, like when you tell them that you don't drink, you're like, you're just taking a break, or you're not going to drink forever. Oh, so you smoke weed then, or you do this, or like, I'm like, no, I don't do any of that actually. And they're like, well, what do you do then? I'm like, live my life.
You know what's a good one? Sometimes if people ask me that question, if it gets that far, I'll usually say like, oh, sugar, like processed sugars. And they're like, you just like see the gears running in their head. I'm like, no, processed sugars. I ate like 7 cookies before I came here. And they're just like, what the fuck? But like other times, like people are like, yeah, they're just like, why? Like, why aren't you drinking? And I'm like, oh, to save money. Like, you know how much money I'm saving? I'm literally, or like, I'll be like, oh, keeps my wallet fat and my waist skinny. Why? And like the people are like, okay, like, and people will ask me another thing about it. Like, if I just like say like money, people are like, oh, like I can't argue with that. Like, I spend so much money on alcohol. I'm like, yeah,
that is true. Actually, I've noticed that. I found other dumb things to spend my money on, but
oh yeah, me too. But if you say money, people like they can't argue with that. They're like, shit,
they can't argue with that. No, not at all.
Like, the alcohol at this party is free. I'm like, someone paid for it. Someone paid for
it. I've never had to go that far with I never used that excuse really. I have said, having money, because I talk about substance abuse in general and stuff too, which is more expensive than drinking. And so I'll talk about that. Like I've been like, well, now I don't have to worry about getting myself into debt because I have a addiction problem. So having to explain to people, but it's gotten better. Like I usually just say, I just don't drink, and usually people don't push it, but some people
do. Some people do. Yeah.
And those are usually the people that shouldn't be drinking. That's the funny.
100%. 100%. People who can't understand why you're there and not drinking. It kind of tells you a lot.
I was that.
It tells you a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It tells you a lot. And like, I know people like that, and like, they can't imagine being out and not being drunk. And it's like, I think it's a good moment of like self-reflection to be like, why is that?
Yeah. That's why I thought like when I quit drinking, like my life was over. I was like, I'm never going to have fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's totally not true at all.
Yeah.
Because my life revolved around partying like for so long. And
not even just parties, but like even if I would like have a girls' night in, it was like wine night. Even like nights in that weren't parties were still like alcohol was involved. Yeah. 100%. 100%. And so that definitely
just live like that until they die. That's the lifestyle. And I did not want that to be my lifestyle anymore. It was slowly killing me and holding me back a lot. So
completely. Yeah. I hear that. Same.
What else did I have written down here? I had you talked about before we started recording the having the suicidal thoughts and things like that, and your thoughts around like kind of like the why me concept. Why am I alive, or why am I this lucky to be in the situation that I'm in?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that process, because I can relate to that. I think other people can relate to that as well. So
yeah, I think I always like felt. Yeah, I always felt like depression was like something bad had to happen to me, and I always felt like, God, I don't have a reason to be depressed because like things aren't that bad. I mean, I have hardships the same way that everyone does. I've gone through crap the same way that everyone has. Like, I definitely don't feel like my life is so much worse than anyone's life. I think in the grand scheme of things, when I put things in perspective, like, I have food, like I have a house that is ridiculously expensive to live in, but like I can live here, and like that, like just those two things is like huge, and I always felt like, God, I don't really have like, a reason to be depressed. And like a lot of my depression was coming from kind of just like my perspective of the world in general, which I felt like was like unfair, like almost to be like, wow, I have things good and like I'm still not happy, because like all I can think about is just like how like suffering exists in the world. And like for me, a lot of my suicidal ideation was coming from, and even now, like kind of intrusive suicidal thoughts will still kind of peak for me when I am reminded of the suffering that kind of exists, or like the unfairness that exists in the world. The fact that like people are just born into situations that are just so unfair compared to other people's situations. And I mean, just like people not being able to have food on their table, just as an example, or just, suffering, like schools being bombed and things like that. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to live in a world.
And you're in a bigger city, so you probably see homeless people. Do you guys have a homeless issue?
Oh yeah, all the time. There are a lot of homeless people.
You're reminded of that.
And I am, and all the time. And even just, I mean, you can't even like open social media without seeing just the suffering that's just going on constantly. Like animals, I have like a really big heart for like animals, and just like whenever I travel, I just see like, like animal abuse, or like animals like being just like suffering, being like abandoned in like houses where they're like locked up and can't even like fend for themselves, like things like that. I'm just like, why do I want to live in a world just guts me to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to live in a world like that. And like my suicidal thoughts like really are like brought out by that feeling of like, God, I don't want to live in a world like that. Like it just feels like unfathomably like horrible. Like it just feels awful. And I think that it's hard for me to kind of like step back from that and say like, look at the things that I'm doing. And like, I fortunately have a job where I am able to like positively contribute to kind of those inequities in life. I'm a speech therapist. And so I work with a lot of really little kids with disabilities. And I dedicate a lot of, of my time and my energy
that purpose
to that, to being able to combat that. I donate a lot of money to different causes that I'm passionate about, like the animals and the people who are just like going without. And I'm, the first person to hand out my dollar bills on the side of the road, or, I keep like socks in my car and things like that to give out to homeless people and things like that. But still, I mean, it just feels like such a big problem that it's hard for me to say, like, even with the things, I try and find things to do that make it feel like, okay, it is worth me being here, because even if I can't make a difference in like the big, massive problems that we have on this planet, just the massive, massive problems of inequality in on this planet, at least that person who I gave socks to today, or that kid who I helped say their first word today, or things like that, I'm like, at least me being here is serving some sort of purpose. And I think that is the only thing that has like truly kept me from doing it all of these years that I've been in that really dark place. Because it's really hard for me to think about just the darkness that exists in this world and like want to coexist with it,
Yeah.
It's heavy.
It is heavy, but it's true. I mean, I get it. It's not pretty out there. I mean, there's a lot of good things, obviously, and a lot of good people out there. But yeah, it's a perspective thing. But when your mind's like stuck on that, and when you're stuck in that dark place, you'll find all the negative things, and it's just negative. And that could be about you, yourself, other people, or everything. And it gets to be just this like cycle that you're just like, but I've gotten to a point where I've had so many bouts of depression, and the more I push through it and power through it and move forward and know I'm in it, but still go about my day and do what I need to do and not avoid a bunch of stuff. I mean, I may like, neglect a couple things here and there because it's just the way the way we are when we get like that. But I try to have like small little goals, like to do something. Like one of my friends, like it's one of those simple things ever. He's like, because he's dealt with it too. He's bipolar, and he goes through, he has his bouts of depression too, when it comes to that. And he's just like, just make sure you do one thing that's productive every day.
Yeah.
Just one, even if it's something super simple, like his example was just taking the trash out. Like one simple thing that you can say, hey, at least I did that today.
Yeah.
It's like one positive
it's huge
you can look at. Like
it's
I
huge.
did the dishes today, or something like that, or one simple thing like I got gas today, or
and I think like my version of that is like, I feel like I have to do something each day that like makes the world better because I was here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I have to, I think my version of that, because like it's hard for me to like, my own productivity it's met to me. Like honestly, it's kind of another thing that weighs me down as far as like my depression. I'm just like, God, it's like so much work to be alive, like
because
it is.
Your thing is like
my thing.
Back. Okay.
Yeah. My thing is like
that's
to make my suffering here worth it. Right. Like to make it worth it to like do another day. It has to be worth something. And like, it's probably fucked up that like doing something for myself isn't worth it to me. But like what makes it worth it to me is like if like I did something that made the world even just a tiny bit better, then like, all the problems in the world aren't going to go away if I kill myself tomorrow. They're not. They're going to stay here.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I mean? They're not. Like that's just the reality. And it's kind of the same thing if like if I'm depressed about all the bad things going on in the world, that also isn't going to fix anything. It's just fucking not. Like, like if I'm sad about it, it doesn't like suddenly like people aren't just like, oh God, Kate was sad today, I'm off the streets. Hey, like that's not how it works, No. And so instead like, what I have to do is I have to say like, what can I do? Like I have to do one thing a day that's like gonna make the world a slightly better place, to make this shithole worth living in, I feel that way. And it's kind of sad, and I'm working on bettering my worldview, but like there has to be something here that's worth it. And I feel like for me, that's like making the world itself a little bit better, the lives of people around me a little bit better. And so if that's, if I can have some positive contribution, then like it is worth it for me to stick it out. It is worth it for me to not just, call it quits.
I've had that motivator too. Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. I don't necessarily think about it every day, which I might have.
But that's okay.
But I might implement that.
It's not for everyone.
But like things like answering the phone for when one of my friends call, like I have friends that call that, you know, that may be struggling, and you know, I get reached out, but I'm certain people's like not lifeline, but people
trust you,
value my opinion, and
or
trust me by telling me things, and that's why I've almost thought about, well, eventually I'm going to go back to school to be a therapist, but I'm not ready yet because I hate school. So it's a conundrum. So
fair enough.
I'll get there, but I'm not at that point quite yet. I already have other debt I need to pay off, so I don't need to add that to the but I don't know.
I feel that.
We'll see what happens, but I've always been somebody that people think they are, which is a good thing. People are comfortable talking with and talking to, sharing their problems with, because I think they just know that I'm safe and that I'm not going to judge them, because I've heard a lot. But
like that's a purpose. Like that is a purpose, though. It is the same thing. It's like it's the same thing. Like people can rely on you, and like if you weren't there to call, what would they do? Or like they would feel worse, maybe, you know, or like things like that.
I feel terrible when I don't answer the phone, and when I'm in my
I'm awful at answering the phone. I'm awful at answering the phone.
Yeah.
Don't call me if you're in a crisis, because that's like one of like the things that get cut out, like answering calls and texts. I'm god awful at it. I'm so bad at it. But like if people really need me, they know how to get a hold of me. But I'm just bad at it. It's one of those things that like when I go into like survival mode, I cannot answer the phone. I cannot make calls. Like, thank God for online ordering and things. Like I cannot call.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know a lot of people like that. And I've gotten to, there's certain things, like I won't pick up the phone, or if certain people call me, I'll be like, oh, I don't have time for this conversation.
I just
some
can't.
People that call me where I know it's going to be not just a quick phone call. It's going to be like 15, 30 minutes, you know, something like that.
I have some friends who's like 3 hours, and I'm like,
ooh, I can't do that. Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I can't answer my phone.
No, there's people, but there's people there's family I make exceptions for. If my mom calls or my dad calls, like there has to be a really good reason for me to not answer that call.
Yeah.
Or I have to be like on another call or busy with something.
Yeah. Same.
But I return.
Or I'll have to be like, I will call you later. Sometimes I'll answer and I'll be like, I can't. Or can I call you back in like 3 days?
The ignored text. 3 days. I'll call you back in 24 to 72 business hours.
Literally, but I get there sometimes. I'm like, I cannot today. Like I have to get through my work week, or like, so my job, I have like evaluations or things. Like I'm like, I can't, but like, I know Wednesday I had like 3 cancellations, and like, I don't have any evals that day. Like I got you on Wednesday, but like today it's a no. Like it's a no.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I have to like pencil people in and like say like this is a day. Like
I know myself. Yeah, it's a good thing about getting older. You know yourself.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that, you know, I haven't had the chance to spend as much time with him and hang out with him, and he's a newer friend of mine that I've met over the last year and a half or so, and I'm taking, like I told you before, I'm taking some time off work. So I'm like, look, I know you have these 2 days off of work because he works retail. So his days off are not the same days off as me, because he works, you know, during the weekends has to be working. And he has Tuesday and Wednesday off. I'm like, so which day, Tuesday or Wednesday? One of those days is going to be the day where we hang out. I'm not going to do anything else. And he's like, well, I don't know. It's like, well, I don't know which one. Well, I'm picking a day then. Tuesday it is.
Yeah.
So that's happening. So I'm like, Tuesday is the day that we're hanging out, and we can catch up on whatever we need to catch up on, because I've just been so busy with all.
You have to schedule it. To schedule it. Like I schedule like calls sometimes. I'll be like, I have a call scheduled for lunch tomorrow because like it's a friend I haven't talked to in a month. Yeah. Because like that's the time that works. And like if I don't put it on the books, like I'm not the type of person that will like just pick up the phone and be like, hey, how's it going? Like
I have friends that like that are like that think I can do that, because for a while I could do that, but I've gotten so busy.
Gosh, I just can't.
Like
mentally, I can't.
They won't call me during work, but
yeah,
they know that much. But like, I think they're starting to realize that that I can't just pick up the phone and just shoot the shit for.
No, I can't.
It may be convenient for you, but
it's not. And I think too, it's like for me, like after work, because my job is like as a speech therapist all day. I talk all day long. I talk,
service, so I know how that goes.
All day long, and like I have to be, and probably you too. Like you have to be at 100. Like I'm teaching kids to talk, so and these are kids who don't pick up like a lot of cues and things. So I have to be like over the top. Like I can't just be like up. I have to be like up. Like I have to be so over the top all day that it just like drains my energy at just like twice the like regular talking.
Luckily I don't take as many calls as I used to. But when I do take calls though, since I'm in leadership, they're the angry people and it takes a lot out of me.
It's exhausting. Like it's truly exhausting. Yeah. And so, I think that people are like, oh, you're off. Like, but it's like, no, I'm in like recovery mode right now from like talking all day.
Yeah.
And having to be my energy at like 1,000. Like I need to just like lay down and not talk to anyone for like an hour before I can do anything.
Yeah. And you're not like a regular teacher where you get summers off for that.
No.
You're doing that all the time.
Yeah. And I don't have like teacher hours either. Like I'm all day. Yeah.
And are you a salaried employee too?
I am a salaried employee.
So you are taken advantage of.
Yes, I am.
Yep, that is how it works.
I am.
My company is pretty good about it. Just in case anyone's listening, my company's pretty good about it for the most part. Actually, I'm not lying.
No, I do love my job. I love my job. It's a lot. Like it is a lot.
It's a part of the
job. And it's the nature. There isn't an SLP job out there that isn't like this. So I also want to say, my job's listening. I do love my job. I do love my job. It's just, it's a job that requires high energy all day long. It just is.
At this point in the podcast, we had some technical difficulties, so there's a little bit of a gap here. Thank you for still listening. If you're still tuned in, if you haven't left that review, please do so. Even if it's a bad one, hopefully it's not a bad one. If it's a bad one, before you do that, please email me at mdoverthinker@gmail.com and let me know what I can do better. Because I'm here for you guys. I want to have a good podcast for people to listen to. That's the point. All right, back into it.
Oh, it was mine. I just got the little notification. Your connection's unstable. Am I back though?
No, you're good. You're good now.
Okay. I was just saying like, it's just it doesn't matter part where the job,
who you were working for, the job's
gonna just like customer service, right?
Yeah.
Like exactly. There's no customer service job where you're not having to deal with like people being in a bad mood sometimes. There's just not.
Oh yeah. It's especially I dealing with sensitive things like health insurance.
Yeah.
Get pretty upset about things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just
it's fair enough. It's the same. People worrying about their kids, it's the same. Like it's a situation where
it's very personal.
They're in a sensitive place. So I get it. It is what it is. I'm happy to do what I do, but definitely
I
burn
can't
out.
Take things personally when it comes to my job. Otherwise, I will lose my mind. We both went on brief rants here about work that we don't really want to share publicly, but it is important to have a work-life balance. So we did talk about that more.
Yeah, it can be rough. I have a separate work phone to kind of like have that separation.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All my calls through work it's all through a internet.
Yeah.
A voice.
Yeah. I have a whole second phone number, a whole second phone.
Okay.
Which is nice actually, because then I can like leave work at work. It's nice.
Yeah, I usually don't do much after like I'm logged out for the day. I'm done. It's very rare that I go back to anything. Sometimes, but or if I go back, it's for a very brief period of time. Like I've one last thing, and it has to get done that day. Otherwise, But I'm, already home and working from home, so
better. It's true. Yeah, for me, I need that separation because sometimes I work really closely with families. They'll be like, "Oh my God, we just got the IEP back. What do you?" And I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is gonna have to wait till tomorrow because, like, if not, like, I feel really like responsible to my families, and so it's good for me to be like, no, like, it helps me set that boundary for myself
because otherwise they'll blow you up.
It's not the family's fault. It's my own boundaries that like I need to, like, that are my problem. And so it's good for me to be able to like set that boundary with myself and be like, when I get home, my work phone stays in my work bag and I don't take it back out until I'm leaving for work the next day, just to make sure it's not like, hey, we're not going to make it in for our morning appointment. Like, that's good to know if I can like, leave 30 minutes later. But for the most part, like I'm not looking at that until it's time for me to go to work.
Yeah.
Because I need that boundary for myself.
Yeah, separating work life from social life and just the rest of your life is a very good thing to do. And
it is. It's important.
Able to do that.
Yeah, it's hard. It is hard. It's definitely something I've had to get better at.
I get it. Yeah. Especially when especially if you have a work phone and your salary and you're, not clocking hours and nobody's really saying, hey, you're working too much. No one's really going to say that to you when you're salaried.
No one's going to say that to me. Well, and because like that way I'm booked at 33 hours a week. So I'm just straight up in therapy with kids 33 hours of my 40 hours. So that leaves 7 hours only to deal with the rest of like talking to families, writing the actual reports, making sure all my paperwork is done. Cause I have to do paperwork for every single session I do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could work for 80 hours and I would still not have everything done that I could do. Like, it's just, there's no time.
Something going on.
There's always something. There's always more to be done.
I know what you mean. So. Yeah, I could be
a lot of jobs like that.
I could be working 24/7 if I guess wanted to. Wish I wouldn't want to, but there's always something I could be doing.
There's always something. There's always more. There's always stuff. And like, no boss is going to be like, no. And I have good bosses.
I had my boss call me out the other day and she's like, why are you still here? Because she saw that I was logged in and I was just like,
sorry. Yeah. I do have good bosses. I went on a trip. I went to Dominican Republic. You probably saw like 2 weeks ago. And 3 weeks, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Yeah. And I was like responding to emails and they were like, Kate, like stop. Because I have limited, so I only get 10 days of PTO for the whole year. And that includes like if I need to take like doctor's appointments, things like that comes out of that. So, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. No. And so I had taken a week and they were like, no, you work too hard to be working like right now too. So they did. And I did when they said that, because I do get some notifications, like more urgent notifications. I do get directly to my personal phone. I get my emails to my personal phone. And so, like I saw an important one. It was important. And like, I'm glad that I responded. But after that, I turned off my notifications because I have to have that balance.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
I have
like when I take my week off, no, you're not getting a hold of me.
Yeah, which is good. That's good. And that's how it should be. And that's honestly what's better. If not, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, my out of office.
You're not going to relax.
My out of office message is going to be aggressive, I think. It's just going to be like,
I'll do on Monday when I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah. No one, unless you're dying, sends me a message.
Yeah, for real.
Because I have people that are underneath me that need to get a hold of me for stuff. It's like, nope, talk to my supervisor because she's going to be here. So.
Yep. Perfect.
We talked for a while.
Yes, sorry. I know. I talk too much. Very sorry.
I'm the same way. It's yeah, it happens all the time. Luckily, I'm not in the studio that I record at because I get charged for that. And
Ooh.
well, I pay in advance and I know the guy pretty well, the guys that run it pretty well. And when I go overtime, they don't charge me extra, but I feel bad. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so I don't have to worry about that here. But eventually I'm going to start recording everything in this room. I'm not going to have this as the backdrop, even though I like this backdrop, but there's going to be it doesn't fit the theme at all. If I was doing a hip hop podcast, which I would love to do, but I don't have time. I'm going to make like a fake brick wall.
Yeah.
I've decided, which I found on TikTok, of course. And
shout out to TikTok.
And I have like this brain stencil. I'm gonna like graffiti like these brains on the wall.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing. That's something I'm gonna do on my staycation. So
there you go.
A list of things I need to do and I want to do. So
perfect. Well, enjoy your time off. I'm sure it's much needed.
Oh, it is. It's the calm before the storm for sure.
Yeah.
You're still listening. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in to the Modern Day Overthinker podcast. We'll wrap it up here in just a moment with Kate Anderson. Kind of had a off-topic discussion for a second there, but we got back into it to close out the podcast. So a few more minutes left, and that'll be the episode with Kate. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't necessarily need to have just everybody on the podcast. I want to have people that have a story. It doesn't have to be somebody that has a huge following either. Like, I just need to hear different perspectives in different ways that people have dealt with mental illness and, just the struggles of life in general. It doesn't have to necessarily be like anything
totally
crazy because we're all out here just surviving sometimes. So
it's just nice sometimes to hear something you can relate to. Yeah,
that's the thing. And that's what people have been telling me, and the feedback that I've been getting is just the relatable guests and people that they can understand, where they're coming from. So I really appreciate it. I think people will really enjoy it. And I'm on a streak of feemale guests. I don't know what it is. Get knocking off
ladies.
Yeah, I need to record and start mixing it up. I'm almost 50-50 with my audience, which I looked on, at least on Spotify. I'm 53% male, 40% female, which is pretty good. So
that's cool. You can see that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just not to plug myself, but if any of your female listeners are wanting to talk to someone who if they related to me and want to reach out to someone similar to them, my inbox is open. I said that I'm bad at calls. Don't call me. But if they want to DM me, I will
on Instagram. Yeah.
24 to 72 hours. I will get back to you, ladies or guys.
I'll tag
whoever.
you when I post it for sure, so people know.
Cool. Yeah. Just say that.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll tag you and
if it's helpful to people, I'm my DMs are open. I've been there, so
I'll put your email. I know, I'm just kidding. I won't do that.
Just maybe put my Instagram. I'll have to put my work phone number. Just kidding.
Yeah, everything.
I leave it.
Means of communication. I'm gonna put out there.
Yeah. No, but if you DM me on Instagram, anyone, I'm happy to talk to people about this stuff. Like I said, I'm a pretty open book. So
that's good. We need more people to be open. I've had some people that I've reached out to that they aren't ready to be open about it, which I get it. It's totally fine.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's their mental health. But the more people we can get that are more open about it, the better it's going to be. So
totally agree. Well, thanks for doing what you're doing. I think it puts more stories out there and makes it easier for people to talk about when they're hearing stories they relate to. It's a lot easier to talk about it yourself. So I think you're doing a great thing. I'm glad to have started it. Now it's college and be here still.
Yeah.
I think you're doing a great thing.
Thank you for sticking around with the journey. So
yeah.
So I thank you a lot.
Soon it'll be retirement home drama. Now it's retirement home. I'll stick around for that one too.
Yeah, that'll be a great podcast eventually.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
All right. Take care. We'll talk later. Bye.
All right. Bye.